Hey everybody, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Welcome back to the final episode of at least how I make the Pokemon Challenge videos themselves. Today we're going to be going over another 2 days worth of, or what I usually break up into 2 days. Sometimes I just do in 1 day worth of editing, which is the marker edits, and then the first minute of the video, and lastly the soundtrack. As you can see off screen, just like I said I would, I just inserted all the footage. It matches up just like before. And the only other thing I did was at the very end for the last 20 seconds of the video, I have this little art asset I threw together of like an end screen page. You don't necessarily have to do this. This is just something I do, just making sure you're aware of what that is. You could totally just have an end screen without having an end screen card, and it's perfectly fine. Just put over the credits. It'll look fine. You don't really need to make an asset for that. So this is going to be actually a really quick one to do the marker edits on because there's very, very few of them. So marker edits are what I'm going to count as everything past the start marker here. So we can see that we have a Psywave, we have, I want to put in a card here. So this isn't actually a marker edit I have to do. This marker is here just to remind me to put a card in once it hits YouTube. And this is where I want to put a mid-roll. And so there's actually only 2 marker edits I need to do, and these are really, really simple. So I'm going to show you how I like to do them. In my art assets folder, I've already gone ahead and gotten pictures of everything that I know I'm going to need, which isn't many things for this episode. Literally all I do for getting pictures like this, like let's say, what is this one, Psywave? This one is Psywave, so we're just going to drag Psywave in there on a track above it, and drag that to there, because that's when I stop talking about it. And I guess I don't even need to transition this like sliding in from off screen because it's happening during a hard cut of changing footage anyway. So it wouldn't really make sense to do. Let me make this just a little smaller. There we go. Normally what I'd do is I'd apply a push effect to it. So if we go push in the effects thing, we can drag it onto the corner there. And then if I select the corner and effect control, it's by default 15 frames for me. That's what I set my default to, because that's what I like for fades. For push, though, I like to do 6 frames. If you're doing a 60 frame per second video, I think that looks really nice. Give me a second, everybody. I'm just cleaning my desk now because I pushed my coffee cup and spilled a bunch all over myself because I'm a hyper-competent individual. Remember, everybody, before you go thinking that I'm some kind of cool, famous YouTube guy, I put my coffee on one leg at a time, too. Coffee is thoroughly out of the way of the keyboard now. Okay, so as you can see here, it'll sound a little weird, but you can see over the course of 6 frames, it slides in. I don't need that effect on this, though, so I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to use that plenty on other things, though, because I use that a lot on my text and stuff. You could also manually keyframe it if you know animation, and I used to do that in the past, and it was kind of nice, but this is way, 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 way faster, so I do it a lot. Once I have the marker edit done, like I have the marker edit done for this, I can just double-click that and hit delete on that to remove it. And the other one is just the sub GIF, which is really easy. If you guys know that Cybert channel, Dan Cybert on Twitter, I believe is his Twitter handle. Good friend of mine. Dan's a good dude. And he works at Game Theory, which is pretty cool. But he actually made me this sub GIF, which is pretty awesome. I guessed on a show sometime. We got to do more stuff together, actually. We play Minecraft together sometimes. He's a cool dude. Okay, so I'm just going to drag that in here. And at its peak, it's way too big. Let me just, you know what? Get rid of scale to frame because that's an automatic thing that it does. Put it back to 100 size. Yeah, this is the intended size of it. And just line it up with the corner. And check this out. This is a really nice effect that he made. He's very good at, what's it called? English is a difficult language, everybody. He's really good at Adobe After Effects. So check this out. Check out how this looks in the bottom right. In the comments and on Twitter, though. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Maybe it needs a shadow, though. If I do a shadow... I've made some presets for drop shadows, actually. Was it this one that I thought looked nice? No, that one's terrible. Let me just undo that. There we go. That's nice. Just to make it pop out from the background a little bit, giving a little bit of a shadow effect. probably most editing softwares you use will have something called either shadow or drop shadow, something like that. And you can toy around with that effect and see how that looks. You can download subscribe GIFs like this online just fine, but if you just commission somebody to do something a little bit better for your own channel, that's not a bad idea. But if you just want a free one, there's perfectly fine looking free ones out there. Anyway, that's literally all the marker edits for this one. This is a super simple one marker edit wise. Usually there's more than this, but again, it's more of pretty much what you just saw me do. So next is the first minute of the video where we have all these markers. First thing I do, literally go to the previous video, go to its first minute, and I copy the rules first. So rules start here. Yep. I'm going to copy the rules. I'm going to go to where rules start here and paste. Nope. I'm going to change the track so it's not overlaying on this one and then paste. There we go. So what I need to do now is clean up all this because not all of this fits properly. This is why I put the markers. So first thing I need to do is move everything to the starting point of where it should be. Nope, that was a misclick. Undo that. So I'm just moving each one to where it needs to be. What these are text files that I slide in from off screen to say, what we're doing. There we go. The beginnings of all of them have lined up. Now we got to line up the ends of all of them with the start marker. There we go. So these rules I already have all set up from the previous things. You can see that they all start with, I didn't mean to hit undo there, redo that, save that. You can see that they all have a little effect at the beginning. That's what this thing is. Those are just the push effects I was showing you before. It's just 0.6 frames, and I select reverse for the motion. I think it looks better that way. And yeah, it's literally that easy. Everything else is default on that effect, and that's just sliding them in. Now, this is what you've seen me mess up the rules before. This file right here, I used to actually make a new file for every single one on this. This is the only insert Pokemon in battle one. If I turn off and on, you can see it flashing there, right? I used to literally make a new one for each video. Then I realized there's no point in that because I'm not going to be going back and re-rendering an old one. And if I needed to, I can take 10 seconds to change some text. So now I just have one called only generic. Double click it, change over to the new one. It yells at me about that every time, ever since the new update, but there isn't actually a memory issue. Right, so this one is Mischievous. Let me double check how to spell that because I've made typos before. I believe it is M-I-S-D-E-A. Nope, I'm blind. There we go. I think that's how you spell that. I'm pretty sure. You can see this text editor, though, is really nice. This text, this exact template of text is actually a template I made because I wanted consistent branding, basically. So it's got the whole gold thing going and the stroke going. I like it a lot. I recommend you come up with your own font that you find online that allows commercial use. Or if you're an artist, you can make your own font even. And just modify, make it look like your own thing, make it look nice. So all of this now, by the time it gets to this, all the rules are on screen. All these rules are still perfectly accurate for this video, so I don't need to change anything else there. So everything else we have here, I have all of the details of the run, title, stats, level up moves, all that stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do, just for the sake of having a visual representation, is I'm going to copy over that first little bit and paste that in. So once again, I need to match these up with these markers. So title is from title until the next thing, So just move those in. Okay. So this whole beginning is me talking a little bit about the previous run while introducing the next run. So this is showing the Onyx run. So what I actually want to do is go over to the previous run, which is this Kabuto one. And I'm going to go forward and grab a piece of footage from it. Here, let's take this Versus Seeker footage. So I'm just going to copy that, go back to this one, put it somewhere where there's some space, shrink it down, put it back at regular speed because I think that looks way nicer, slot it in, shift it over there, and I'm just going to grab one of these push effects because these already have all the settings I like. I'm going to copy that. And with this track selected, I'm going to paste right there. Boom, we got our push there. So let's just make sure that looks good. Would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold? Nice. And now we're going to update this. This is something I've forgotten to update before. So that's Pokemon Gold with only one. I'm probably going to have to change the text size here because I often have to. There we go. Yeah, that's way too big. You can see it's actually going to go off screen there. So that's a size 300. I'm going to try 250. Yeah, that's not bad. And then recenter it right there. And how does that look? That looks pretty nice. Yeah, I can work with that. I don't like that my leg's in the way of the word one a bunch, but it doesn't really matter. No one's going to have trouble reading that. If anything, it's stylistic. So what I'm going to do now is what we have is stats, then level up moves, Psywave, script on screen. Okay, so stats until there, and then level up moves until there. Next was Psywave. Psywave right there. And script on screen. And I already have the thing I want copied and pasted. So what I'm going to do now, go to here, paste it, and I want these two things to overlap. So we're going to sync those up so you can see the push effects on those are in synced. This will mean that as we go frame by frame, you can watch my guy here, as well as the text and the stats menu. They all shift off and shift over in unison. I think that looks really nice. So I'm going to go through and paste that on each of those and start adjusting the size on these. This is a little big, but I do still like it big because even though I'm watching it on a monitor, a lot of people are watching on a phone and it's a little bit harder to read. But I like to make it just a little smaller. Now this, I don't want to shrink that much just because it'll be really hard to read for people on phones. And script on screen, I always keep full size, and then it shifts into rules. Yes, that looks good. There you go. That's the whole first minute done. Like that, it's that easy. Literally all that I have to do now before I finish this video, render it out, which is like saving a video basically, and upload it. The only thing I have left to do is the soundtrack, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of this because it's not super complicated. It's a pretty fast, mindless task. So I have soundtracks of a bunch of Pokemon games here. This one was Pokemon Gold, so we'll do the Crystal file. I don't know why I named that. I should probably just name it Gen 2. Gen 2. There we go. And I like to pull in somewhat fitting music. It doesn't need to fully fit. It just needs to be nice. So I'm going to actually put my headset on for this. You guys know that I always open with the Game Corner music in any generation with the Game Corner, of which I only do one generation that doesn't have the Game Corner. People ask, by the way, a lot why I haven't done Gen, 6, 7, and 8 for Pokemon challenges yet. It's because I haven't beaten any of them casually yet, and I want to beat them casually first. But I will Let's Play those at some point on the show. So I forget, each soundtrack has a different bass sound. I think it's like negative 25 decibels I like for Gen 2. So let's try that and we'll listen a little bit. Random damage. And the only same type attack bonus move we can learn isn't until we beat the 4th gym. Our type coverage is going to be... I actually have an audio graph on the other monitor here. So something I want to check here. My voice in it is great. Random damage. And the only same type attack bonus move we can learn... Yeah, my voice volume there is fantastic. It's always hitting like -5 or something, which is good after post-processing. -5 decibels. It's a fairly good volume if that's like kind of where your absolute loudest point is at. But what is the sound like? So what I'm gonna do here is solo the music. So what is the music hitting? It's maxing at around -30. That looks about right. Now, mind you, there is actually a audio meter thing you can pull into OBS here to have on the side. Check that out. We can learn isn't until we beat the 4th gym. Our type coverage is going to be awful. I never liked it there, though. I always like having it on another monitor. So personally, I use other things for that. So I'm just going to remove that. Okay, so that volume is good. I'm just going to have this whole audio track here is always soundtrack for me. So I just have only that selected. So I'm just jumping to when the soundtrack changes. And I like to have vaguely fitting things going on, but not always. Sometimes you just pick good music for the sake of picking good music, you know? Like, I'm not going to go with, like, Professor Oak's song here, because very quickly we end up transitioning into just fighting a bunch of trainers and stuff. So what music would be interesting? Well, I'm just talking about Psywave. That was deafening. I'll have turned that down for you guys in post. But yeah, that's a perfectly fine song. Everybody likes that song. It feels adventurous. So if we just lower that volume, what is this going to be like? So at level 5, Psywave will do 1 to 7 damage. It also has a 1 in 5 chance of missing and is never super effective. Okay, I might want to see how clearly I can hear myself when turning down my volume a little bit. This is another thing you want to experiment with, is if you can hear your voice just fine over it, try turning your volume down more. So I normally have mine on like 20. I'm gonna put mine on 5, put it real quiet. What's the sound like now? 5 times our level rounded down. So at level 5, I can still understand my voice over top of the audio perfectly fine, or over top of the music perfectly fine. That's what you're aiming for. Because you gotta remember that some people are listening. That was my Windows noise, not yours. Some people are listening on their phone. Some people are listening over speakers that might be bad. Some people are listening on built-in laptop speakers, whereas other people might have like a really nice headset or nice earbuds, have different quality of sound card. People are going to be watching on all different kinds of devices, even their TV across the room. And so their audio setup is going to be drastically different. And so when you're really trying to make sure that your audio is good, listen to it at different volumes. Listen to it with different pieces of equipment, Listen to it on speaker and then on earbud or on your phone even. If you were to like render out a little clip of it, play it on your phone. Really test to make sure that your video is easy to understand by audio on different kinds of devices because that'll help out different audiences. Again, audio is much more important than video, especially because a lot of people are going to be wanting to listen to this on the side while they're doing house chores or whatever. And so you're going to want to really make sure that they can hear both the music and your voice, but your voice is never being drowned out by the music. And that's a tip for like Let's Play as well. So I'm gonna change what song I'm having on you know what? I can run it all the way to the Flying Gym. I think it's perfectly appropriate to still have it playing for Bellsprout Tower. And so what do we have here for the next like couple minutes? We have Flying Gym, Slowpoke Well, which is just a short trainer grinding thing, and then Bug Gym. We got a lot of gym stuff coming up actually. So let's get some Pokemon Gym music. I don't want the battle music because these fights are actually kind of easy. So instead, I'll save that for the more interesting gym battles. And we'll just have that sweet gym music playing for this. And I'm going to use Control E to do a little fade between these audio tracks, just a short one, to make it a little bit less harsh of a transition. So let's listen to this. But we'll have to wait and see. After running around and healing after every trainer, that's a big jump in volume. I'm gonna drop that by like 3 more decibels. Until I beat Bellsprout Tower, we're ready for Falconer, and it's still a little loud. 2 more decibels. -20 to -30 seems like it's usually how much you have to lower these soundtracks by. But we'll have to wait and see. After running around and healing after every trainer, that sounds way better to me. There we go. And I'll have that going until the rival. Looks like it naturally cuts out during the rival. I'd want to switch theme there anyway. Let's just do a classic trainer, not challenge theme, trainer battle theme 1. This is a good one. Not audio channel. Try 25, see how it goes. Got the win. Rival time. Right away I confused Ghastly with Confuse Ray, and with some great luck, he hit himself slightly quieter. Slightly quieter. Twice, so we never got hit. Zubat a second, and that's really nice. I like that. And so literally, you just do that until you've got the whole soundtrack done and you're happy with it. It really is that simple to do. After all of that is done, you Control M. In Adobe Audition, at least, you Control M. Thank you. And you want to export it. So I've made this little preset called For YouTube, which is my personal settings. You can pause and check these if you want to. None of these tabs really matter that much. It's pretty much defaults for the most part, other than just like high bit rates and stuff. Other than video, these are the important ones. I have the resolution set to my monitor's resolution, which is 1440p, frame rate 60. You always want your aspect ratio to be square pixels because we are talking about digital games here. It's not like film. Render at maximum depth, absolutely. Profile high, level 5.2. You don't want to go above 5.2, by the way. I find if you go above 5.2 on the profile, for whatever reason, YouTube will sometimes botch the re-encoding when you upload it, and it gets really messed up. So don't do that. Just leave it on 5.2. VBR, I just do 1 pass. I think it turns out just fine. My target bitrate is 20 megabits. Sometimes I do 30, but maximum bit rate is always 300. Give it as much maximum as it can. So if it needs to have a higher bit rate, it will, hopefully. And then use maximum render quality. After that, I just hit Q. It opens it up in Adobe Media Encoder, which just encodes it, which saves it to a file, and then you upload that. And that really is the end of how I make a Pokemon Challenge video. The video making part, once you have kind of this whole system down, is probably a lot easier than you'd think it was. The hardest part really is the challenge. And that's pretty much my entire workflow. I hope that this was in some way useful to you guys. At the time that I'm recording this part right now, I've only uploaded part 1 right now, so I've only gotten your feedback on that, but you guys were really happy with it. The reason I had to record all this so quickly in a row is because I didn't want it to slow down the actual making of this video, because this video is going to be out before these videos get edited. So we'll see how all of that goes and what you guys think. Again, leave me questions that you have in the comment section. I'd love to make some like Q&A videos, just going over more detail on all this. I know you guys probably want to see how I make thumbnails for the videos, but other than that, I'm not really sure what you guys are going to be asking about. So be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you everybody so much once again for watching and joining in with this weird little side series where I just teach you how to steal my thunder. I'm not a very good YouTuber. I basically teach you how to compete with me. I don't know. I've never really been a businessman, I guess. I just want everybody to have fun with their YouTube videos. That's a delicious coffee. And judging by what time it is, I need to rush to go get recording with Goosit and What a Geek for some Pokemon Stadium Let's Play. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.